Okay, so spoilers, duh. Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2 finale, we see the gang using Max as bait to lure Vecna into taking over her mind, leaving his body vulnerable to the Molotov Nancy squad. The only problem is he actually takes over Max's mind while the Nancy squad is left being strangled on the wall for an hour. Lucas can't save Max because the real villain of the season shows up only to hold Lucas at gunpoint, almost killing everyone if it wasn't for Eleven in the pizza dough freezer mind traveling to fight Vecna inside Max's happy memory. Now, unfortunately, this wasn't enough and Vecna was able to finish his connection to Max, snapping her bones, killing her off, and opening up a massive cross portal for the invasion of Hawkins in Season 5. But just hold on, at the end of the episode, we saw Max in the hospital, still technically alive. I mean, brain dead, blind, and still broken, but her heart's still beating in her physical body. Just what if Max is still alive? What if Max isn't truly gone? What if when Vecna killed her, in quotation marks, he took her soul, her consciousness from her body and is keeping it in his mind with all the others he's taken? What if Max is still alive? If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm Michael J, and I've got a crazy theory for you guys today. Season 4 was not only the biggest and most expensive season yet, but also the scariest, with the highest kill count of main characters. It's no secret that the Duffer Brothers love killing off our favorite characters. Just look at Alexi, look at Bob, look at Billy, and unfortunately now, Eddie and Max are both gone as well. Well, are they? In this video, we're going to go over the entirely possible theory on just how Max might survive her death, and surprisingly enough, only 12% of the people watching right now are actually subscribed. I mean, shout out to the 12%, you guys are the best, but if you're part of the 90% that's not subbed, what are you even doing? Go down and punch that subscribe button and it's upside down. It doesn't cost a thing, it's totally free, and it really helps me out. For all the people that are subscribed, I'm going to be leaving a giant plate of fresh, warm cookies for you in the comments. Go get them while they're hot because we have an amazing theory to dive into. Now, it's almost like the Duffer Brothers didn't know if they wanted to kill Max off or not, and they just didn't know what to do with her, so they put her in a coma. But there's no way that they're not going to bring her back. They didn't keep her around just for her to get killed off in Season 5. Well, at least not immediately, that is. I think there's a few different options that we'll have a good chance of seeing play out. The Duffer Brothers have already said that they don't necessarily know all of what is going to happen in Season 5 yet. All they know is the last 30 minutes or how they're going to conclude the show, and that it probably won't make everybody happy. Now, I don't know if that means we're not going to like them killing off Steve or Elle, or if that just means that they're going to leave a few things unconcluded for the viewers to fill in for themselves, but personally, I feel like they're going to try their very best to end the show off in a satisfying way. They're not trying to be like Game of Thrones and have their last season be their worst. I think Season 4 was the only exception because it was part 1 of 2 of the endgame. Vecna killing Max and successfully opening the 4 portals into a gaping hole across Hawkins was the start of the endgame. Season 5 will very much be a part 2, and it might feel a little faster paced in the beginning than we're used to, but it will also need to be somewhat conclusive. Recently, the Duffer Brothers have come out and said that their Stranger Things spin-off show will 100% be different from the main show. They've seen all the fan theories and ideas about spin-off shows, about the main characters, about Brenner, about Steve and Dustin, about other test subjects, and they said that they're not really interested in that because they've already touched on all those things. They think that we've already explored all the most interesting parts of these aspects of the show. They want to do something that's completely new and unrelated, which, while I know it is different and not my first choice, I do trust them. They haven't led us wrong yet. So with that being said, there's a good chance they won't be using the spin-off show to circle back and answer any open-ended questions the main show leaves us with, which can be good and bad. The main thing that means is hopefully Season 5 will answer our biggest questions and feel conclusive. But that also means that they might not know what they want to do with Max yet still. They said they're supposed to start writing Season 5 in the first week of August, which is coming up pretty soon. But I figured, let's see if we can beat them to the punch and figure out what really happened to Max and how she's still alive and why she isn't in her body. Now, to really see what happened to Max, I think we need to take a step back and see just what Vecna actually does when he takes a victim. Because I think Vecna, for the most part, is one of the things that they do have figured out for Season 5, and they at least know how he works and gave us some hints to think about in Season 4. Brenner at one point straight up told us that when Vecna kills, he completely takes everything away from them. Their memories, their abilities, everything.
When one kills, he doesn't simply kill. He consumes. He takes everything from his victims, everything they are and everything they ever will be. Their memories, their abilities.
And up until now, Vecna has targeted all 4 people, taking their memories and trauma, twisting them into nightmares to torture them until they're at the right spot at the right time, and then he establishes a connection with them so strong that in doing so, he opens up a portal to the Upside Down and kills them. And right now, Max is so far the only one he's done that to, and she still has a living body, meaning that just like normal, he has taken everything from Max, including her soul. But this is the first time that one of his victims has a living body to possibly return to, and the Duffer Brothers have confirmed that Max is alive. Her brain is dead, she's blind, and her bones are broken. She's had better days, but yes, she's still alive. Max is not just in a coma, but she is brain dead, and figuring out what role she's going to play in season 5 is difficult to say the least. I think Max is gone, yes, but not gone for good. If you remember in episode 7 when Henry is monologuing to 11 trying to convince her to join him, he tells her that all the other numbers are dead but not gone. Everyone he's killed is still with him up in his head, making him stronger.
They're still with me. In here.
The biggest question, if all of this is true, is how was Max talking and conscious when Vecna first dropped her? Does this mean that he took her consciousness after that? I mean, Vecna literally finds a victim and by killing them establishes such a strong psychic connection to them that it opens up a portal through time and space. A portal to the Upside Down. So maybe he established the connection or was at like 98% and then dropped her, and then she was able to talk for a minute before he rebooted and finished off the last 2% and took her soul. Even if she just died from the injuries, Vecna still managed to take her. And I'm wondering if when Elle restarted her heart, if she gave her any powers, Umbrella Academy style. I don't know if you watched that or remember the season 2 finale, but when Vanya saves Harlan, who died at the bottom of the lake, she uses her powers to part the lake and give him CPR, breathing life back into him and at the same time giving him some of her powers. When Vanya breathed life back into Harlan, some of her was transferred to him. And I'm not saying they're the same, but what if the same thing happens with Max too? It could just be something as simple as Elle using her powers to one pump her heart back up, or she could have just used her powers to show Max happy memories to bring her back. But what if Max gets some of 11's powers? We've seen something similar only one other time in the show, and that is besides Terry Ives having powers and giving birth to 11 with powers, and that was when in season 2 Vecna used the Mind Flare to possess Will, to establish a host in the real world, and in doing so, Will gained a psychic connection to the Mind Flare, to Vecna, and to all the monsters that he was connected to via hive mind. I think it's very possible that in some way Max will get powers from either Elle reviving her or Vecna killing her off. Not only was she able to break free from his curse once before, but also be killed by him and survive. She is the only victim to have the strong psychic connection be 100% established and still live. There's no way she won't have some side effects when she comes back too. My question now is, what is Vecna doing with his victims, the people he's taken, and how do they make him stronger? Is he using their life energy to survive, to sustain himself, or heal his wounds? It's definitely possible that at the end of the show when they defeat Vecna, Max will be released and returned to her body, or worst case is by killing Vecna, they also kill those he's established connections with, meaning not only Max, but also Will. But if this means that Max is in Vecna's mind, does that mean that she's going to be trying to run and hide from him all of season 5 until they kill him off? This is going to be like Will in season 1 all over again. The kids are going to get very subtle hints, maybe just Lucas, of Max still being alive, seeing her heart beat faster in the hospital, or maybe hearing her voice in their heads, just like Will trying to contact Joyce from the Upside Down. And then the whole time she'll be trying to hide from Vecna in his own mind. I don't know how she's going to pull that off, but maybe it'll be a little easier because Vecna's so wounded and hurt after getting Nancied out of the Creel house. What if now he's trying to do it with Max? He can't kill her off because maybe she's a possible host for him? Just the same, I'm also worried about Will now. The Duffer Brothers have already said that they really want to go back to their season 1 roots in season 5, and more specifically, that Will is going to play a huge role in this season, which honestly is so refreshing to hear. I'm telling you, season 5 is going to be the season of Will. But just the same, if he's going to be important again, all he's ever done is be a target of Vecna and a connection to him and the Upside Down. So if Vecna is the most hurt he's been since 11 first banished him to the Upside Down, there's a good chance that now more than ever he's going to be looking for either a new host or a way to recover for the upcoming invasion of Hawkins. And while that means that all the people that Vecna has ever killed are still with him in his mind, making him stronger, I don't think any of them will be able to return because Max is the only one with a currently still living body to go back to. His mother and sister are long gone. The other numbers he killed? Gone. Even Chrissy and Fred. I don't think there's any hopes for their return. Max though, Max is a different story. But what I was thinking that would be really cool to see is if, to hide from Vecna, the Duffer Brothers use Max to travel through Vecna's memories to explore more of his backstory and trauma, as well as to make for a more entertaining chase inside of Vecna. It's like how Vecna got into Max's memory of the snowball dance, but reversed, now that they're in Vecna's mind. I mean, they could also use Max's memories for her to travel through and hide in. This would definitely be warped nightmare versions of them if Vecna has any power over them though. Kind of like the visions he would give his other victims, resurfacing their old trauma. This would also allow us to revisit some of Max's older memories and childhood that we only got a glimpse of in the finale. They made a big point to mention that when Henry, or One, or Vecna, or whatever we're calling him now,
Vecna, Henry, One, sorry, what are we calling him now?
One.
Vecna.
One.
Henry. Right.
when he kills, he takes everything from them, their abilities, their memories in Max's case. I think they could very well have Vecna having free will, roaming all of Max's memories she's ever had, either using nightmare versions to torture her and break her down so he can catch her and take over her physical body, or if Max can figure out how, use Vecna's memories against him, fighting him from within. And the Duffer Brothers have claimed that this season, season 4, was their Empire Strikes Back entry to the series. And I don't know how many of you guys know this, but at the end of Empire, there's a lot of open-ended questions, and Han Solo is frozen in carbonite and his fate is unknown. In the next movie, Return of the Jedi, his friends devise a way to get him back and they succeed, recovering Han and then overthrow the Empire. Max is the gang scoundrel. She is the scruffy-looking nerf herder in this case. Right now, Max is frozen in Vecna's mind and her fate is unknown. In season 5, it would be awesome to see them save Max and then overthrow Vecna and defeat the Upside Down together. And while Max could be gone, like truly gone, I just don't think they're going to do that. It would be pointless for them to save her, to keep her body still alive, only for them to kill her off again. It just wouldn't make sense. It'd be like if they faked Hopper's death last season only to kill him off again in season 4. Like, for real? And when they bring her back, I think they could easily pull off her regaining her eyesight once they destroy Vecna and the connection he has to her, since it does look like she has possessed Vecna eyes left over from the connection. If they choose to keep her blind, I hope at the very least she gets powers from either El reviving her or from her surviving Vecna's connection to her. I don't know why, but blind with powers has so much potential to be a great character. Look at Toph from Avatar. Look at Daredevil. Don't look at the crazy Raven Lady on the Sparrows from Umbrella Academy. Bad example. But you know what I mean. Next is the question of what powers would Max get? Telepathy powers? The ability to see into the Upside Down to be a lookout for the invasion? Can you imagine if she was able to take over the mind of creatures from the Upside Down? That would be so OP and probably a little unlikely, but still, I'm excited to see what they do with her. But either way, Max is going to need some serious physical therapy when she gets back. Let me know if you think Max will have powers or be blind when she comes back, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video. And until then, I will see you in the Discord. Peace.